try movement like half-pass, which will stimulate more the thoracic vertebra. The rotation, the bend in a direction of the motion, like half-pass, large pirouette, are interesting because the effort they have to do to be able to bend in a direction of the motion create more rotation and therefore more lift. And so all these movements are going to help. Now the problem, because it's a horse with a difficult mind and difficult body, the problem is to figure the dialogue that he's going to consider. For example, at this trot, the conversation is on. Is okay. He think. Some moment is more efficient, and the trot became more effortless. Some moment he work harder. So the dialogue is in the right direction. He look to be efficient, which is effortless. With the same idea, if you could create the band, that will push him further, because even there he keeps the thoracic a little bit rigid. So now the psychology, how you are going to bring him to that, that's where it's a lot of possibility. Technically, shoulder 4 will be the most efficient approach, but not necessary, because the limit of the shoulder 4 ma panic him, ma put him in revolt. The shoulder in will be a good idea too, but not necessary, because he might use the angle to escape the bend. Half pass will give you control of that, but it will be more demanding. Therefore, he might resist a little. Large pirouette will be good too, because you will have the bend of the thoracic plus the engagement of the hand leg. I think the best thing is to having in mind what each of those movements help you to stimulate. And then start a conversation where you're going to play between one and the other, following the way he think. Yeah, say, try to arrive to make him consider that bending is not something he should protect, but it is the contrary, something he should do because it will be easier. I say, how you are going to arrive to do that, that's where the psychology, your thinking. So I think it's probably the way to do it. Play with all those different movements. Intuition, your skill and your intuition are going to be what make you decide one or the other. You see, the second problem you have with this horse is that if you have to apply too much pressure with the legs, for example, he will blow up. So you have a very small window where you can play. So therefore, having in mind the effect of each movement and moving from one to the other, as soon as you see the resistance coming, is probably the good approach, and probably the good way, going from right to left. And so sometimes you might do a movement more because psychologically you will keep him quiet, even if you know that's not the best movement at this moment. It's a kind of dialogue. So let's try to do that. And we can start, for example, on shoulder 4. So you place the pole to the right, you keep the croup straight, and then when he channel, when you can keep him relatively straight between both legs, you bend the thoracic, but then you oppose. The first thing to do, you might have to do it at the trot, because at the walk he might resist too much. So put him back to the cadence like that, say that effortless. Well, when you are at this cadence, the moment where he's going to pick up more amplitude, more suspension, that's the stretch, shorten, contraction, and I was talking about. It's a moment where he uses more the elastic energy and less the muscular work. That's good, because when he starts to think this way, he starts to be efficient. He starts to think in terms of efficiency, how to make it better instead of protection. So what I will do, I will stay there. Just stay there until, he starts to give you stride where he's going to bounce more. The problem, like there. Yes, like there. And I will not do more than that, because if you ask more, it's going to contract the back, because that's what he does. So as soon as he's going to give you the stride where he feels better, that's where you can think about the bend. Shoulder 4, shoulder in. Shoulder 4 will be more efficient because you will keep the croup straight and you will just bend the thoracic. It will be more demanding because precisely as you keep the croup straight, you can bend the thoracic. Shoulder in might be a little bit easier because the adduction of the right hand leg. In one hand, that will help you to create more rotation and consequently the bend. In another hand, because you take an angle, you take the risk of losing the croup. Okay? So you get more suppleness, less intensity on the shoulder in, but less efficiency. You get more efficiency in terms of bending the thoracic on the shoulder 4, but you get more stress. So you kind of play with both, one or the other. Shoulder 4, shoulder in. Then, because the way he does it, he locks the neck, he locks the back, and he uses the power of his forelegs extrinsic muscles. On the shoulder 4 and shoulder in, that's difficult to control, but if you put him on a large pirouette, bend right, moving right, large pirouette, we may be able to control that. So when he does that, what he just did, yes, that is where your response will say, could you abduct the right front? Then, if he chose once again to lock the neck and lock the thoracic, go back on shoulder in. You can also stay on the circle and just adduct the right hand leg. It's not shoulder in, but it's the same effect. You will create a rotation, will create the bend. So your mind is, I want him to bend the thoracic. His mind is, I'm not going to bend the thoracic. And his mind, he tries to protect through the neck, through the extrinsic muscles of the forelegs. He bounds too high. He cut the movement. Your mind is, no, you need to work the thoracic. So when he does that, do something. Pirouette or adduct the right hand leg. They both will have an effect, a different effect, and which is going to put his mind on a different solution than the one of locking the neck, the thoracic, and going up, cutting the movement. So you chose, you go from, you have to change. You have to go from shoulder 4, shoulder in, pirouette. You can even consider circle bend outside, knowing that you will stimulate greater lift of the trunk between the forelegs. You will stimulate the extrinsic muscles of the forelegs. You will take the risk to do not have too much control of the hand leg. But it's like everything. You always will have a positive effect and a negative effect. And at this moment, you choose the move, knowing that the positive effect is going to be more advantageous than the negative effect. But as soon as the negative effect will start to take over, you change. So for example, then you have half pass, then you can put in the game. So just when he was close from the snow, that was a good moment for half pass. You have to make him bend the thoracic. He don't want. How you are going to guide his brain to explore that? That's the game you have when you ride this horse. See there. Take the croup, try half pass. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah. Well, when he push right, see there. Instead of bending, he push. Try shoulder in on the center line. So you have shoulder forward, shoulder in, half pass, pirouette, that's good. But now, there you start to contract the thoracic. Try shoulder in or shoulder forward. If you have enough movement and not too much stress, shoulder forward will work even better. If you have stress, shoulder in will ease up the stress, not as efficient for the band, but ease the stress. More then shoulder in. And then your next half pass, because the problem you already start to think, he prepare himself. Then you might choose pirouette first. He panic. You feel lonely? Yeah. Let him walk a few minutes. Let him walk a few minutes. Time he calm down. Try the circle, and then spiral in. Push the shoulder a little bit to the inside. And then as you do that, oppose resistance with the calf and the thigh of your left leg. And see if it will be okay to bend the thoracic spine around your left thigh. So you control somewhat the outside on leg, just a little, and then you see if you could push the shoulder a little bit to the inside, if you could bend the thoracic. And then watching what he does. Okay? Instead of bending, he try to put the weight on the forelegs and using the neck muscle more. Go just for a few strides from a spiraling to the left to a circle bend outside to the right. So you keep the pole left, but you go in a circle right, where you are going to adduct the right hand leg in a footprint of the left forelegs. Why you do that? But because the way you avoid the bend to the left, he put the weight on the forelegs by pulling on the nuchal ligament with the neck. So if you do the circle bend outside just a few strides, you are going to stimulate the extrinsic muscles of the forelegs, which is a better solution than doing it from the neck. As soon as, like there, no, not there, but as As soon as you feel that, you start to lift the extrinsic muscle, the trunk, you can try to go back on the spiral left. You can try to go back on the circle left, where you ask him to bend the thoracic spine to the left. And if instead of bending, he chose to shift the weight on the forelegs and contracting the neck, you go back for just a few strides on the circle bend outside. So basically, by the circle bend outside, you suggest him to keep the trunk more up between the forelegs, which, if he does, will allow the bend of the thoracic vertebra. If instead of bending the thoracic vertebra, you go back in using the nuchal ligament of the neck, you go back to the circle bend outside to re-stimulate greater lift of the trunk between the forelegs. So by the circle bend outside, you explain him what he should do with the forelegs, with the front part of his body, and the extrinsic muscles of the forelegs. Say, when you get that, then he should bend more. Should be okay. Yeah. Another way to have the same effect would be the large pirouette by the abduction of both front legs. Being on a large pirouette, you will stimulate the extrinsic muscles of the forelegs. Advantage, you keep the bend left and you have the control of the hind leg. Disadvantage, you are not as efficient for the extrinsic muscles of the forelegs. So you might have to go back to the circle bend outside a few strides if he insists in putting the weight on the neck and on the shoulder. So that's the dialogue, that's how you try to guide his brain to explore a coordination of his body that he protects. So instead of protecting it, you try to engage him, to encourage him to think about it from a different way. You analyze what he does when you ask him to lift. He put the weight on the neck and then he contracts the back. Therefore, if you can leave the trunk between the forelegs, instead of putting tension in the neck, you give him a better solution. From this better solution, he might be able to consider the bend left. That way, when you feel okay, you go back to a movement bend left. You can do half pass left, you can do shoulder in, you can do large pirouette. They all will give you an effect. The half pass will be more focusing on the rotation of the thoracic spine, which is a lift. So it's not a bad one at all. Difficult. Shoulder in will create more suppleness, provoke the lowering of the haunches, the bend of the thoracic. Good, but he can easily escape with the angle. Shoulder 4 will focus more on the rotation associated to the bend and therefore the lift. Interesting about balance, stressful for the horse. So you know the different effect and you move like that from one move to the other, so that's your dialogue. He want to lock the neck instead and contracting the thoracic. You want him to use the extrinsic muscles of the forelegs instead of the neck, so then he can leave the trunk, then he can bend. So you have a difference in your mind and his mind of what you want to achieve. But because he's a strong will and very strong in protecting himself, you have a dialogue where you encourage him to explore. So you feel what he tells you and you think ahead of him. What you are doing right now is pretty good. Obviously, you start to consider to do not lock the neck and consequently the bending of the thoracic spine. So what you are doing there is a good dialogue, yes. So your choice of the movement is based on your knowledge. You know what each movement can do, the condition where the movement will be efficient, and the dialogue, it's about through the game of how you ride and which movement you use, you guide his brain toward exploring a use of the thoracic spine that he's not sure he can do. In fact, he thinks he cannot do. Yeah. But he lived pretty good there. That's pretty good. Yeah. Well, then you have to do something. Yeah. So circle band outside, quite efficient for the lift of the trunk between the forelegs. Not that great for the hind leg, but quite efficient for the lift of the trunk between the forelegs. So when that is a problem, that's definitively what to do. Pirouette, keep the lift, the trunk, not as good, but keep. Better for the band, better for the hind leg. Half pass, pretty good for the rotation of the thoracic spine and the work of the forelegs extrinsic muscles. Also, good engagement of the hind leg. Shoulder in, good for the band of the thoracic, engagement of the hind leg, lift of the trunk, permit escape. Shoulder forward, quite good for the elevation of the back, thoracic spine, more by the rotation. So they all help you to create the coordination that you need to create. Horses protect, okay? And therefore, going through the resistance does not work. They protect. And if we push, they protect more. The solution is not that. The solution is make them explore their body further until they realize, after all, what I try to protect is not a big deal. But it's a big deal because they do it the wrong way. Therefore, by the movement, by the way you ride and the movement, you guide his brain to exploring his body from a new perspective. And as he explores his body with a trunk higher instead of the neck, then the bending became possible. And so they protect, they put themselves in trap, they trap themselves because they protect, they don't analyze. We analyze. And therefore you figure, well, I need to get rid of this tension of the neck. How? Lifting the trunk. As soon as I have the trunk, I can consider the band of the thoracic. I need to control the hind leg. And that's what you have in your mind. And you guide him there. You help him to figure how he can do that. And they are willing to explore, but they protect. So they always do the both in the same time. They explore, but they protect. Their protection is legitimate. Right or wrong, it's not the issue. From their point of view, they have good reason to protect. We have to make them, encourage them to explore something different. If we force them to go through, it does not work. They protect. We explore, we encourage them to explore a way of using their body that they don't think to do it by themselves. That's our job. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Il y a un moment where the back is up, that's pretty good, you get some flavor, then he's on the neck. So he protect. So what you need to do is to think, how can I make him think differently? How can I put his brain on a different subject? So what he protect, how you can encourage him to explore using the base of the neck, the extrinsic muscles, instead of the neck. Yeah. The gait is part of the game because each gait provoke a different effect. At the walk, the legs act like a lever. They create horizontal force in the spine. At the trot, the legs act like a spring. They create more upward force. So the walk, in fact, is good because it's a quiet gait and we can explain, but it's a difficult gait because the back muscles have to work pretty hard. At the trot, they work less, but it's a gait with more propulsion, faster, therefore it's another set of advantage and problem. Canter, it's a gait where the legs do both spring effect and lever effect. You have to check the pole. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yes, that's good. That's was good. Yes. And that is where the skill is very important. When you lift the back, the neck was a little bit too low, but the back was up. Therefore, it was a good idea to not do anything. Even if theoretically the pole should be higher, if you have done something, he will have lost his back. So you compromise a little sometimes. The ideal would be that the neck is a little bit higher, but because he stands, there are moments where you can do something about that. There are moments where it's better to don't say anything. When they have a very strong will, they protect more. They become more intense. It's more difficult to go through, but the advantage, once they go through with the same intensity. Therefore, the strong will make it difficult to negotiate the dialogue. In another hand, the advantage of that, when they do it better. But now it's the same problem. You want to go up, but you don't use the mechanic of the back. Therefore, the band will be the way to stimulate it. But of course, it's going to protect the man. He's going to protect himself from the band. So exactly like at the walk, you have the same game. You find a way to encourage him, guide his brain toward the idea. He could flex the back. He could not do it if he put too much weight on the neck or on the shoulder. That's what you fix first. Yeah. Good question. If you could stay at the trot, it will be better. That would be the first choice. Because the problem, technically, is not a bad idea to go back to the walk and reorganize them. But then you start to think, well, I don't have to trot. I resist a little and I go back to walk. Therefore, if you could do it at the trot, that would be better. Even if at first it would be not as good.
Okay.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be perfect.
No, yeah. He's a man. Cannot be, okay? Cannot be perfect, okay? Let's face it, okay? Yeah, it's very psychological. He will protect. Well, if you could do it at the trot, it's better. You have more push. It's easier. So if you lose a little, but you feel you might recover it, do it at the trot. Even if at first he's not as good, if you wait until he's perfect at the walk and trot, you will never trot. You will spend your life at the walk. I say, accept the fact that he's not going to be as good at first. say, accept that, it's inevitable. But if you feel that with your analysis, your skill, the moment you ask is going to go through. That's the best option. Try to stir the trot. What you do very well is analyzing him, respect him. He's complicated, he has a complicated body, a complicated mind. We can deplore it, but that's the way it is. And therefore, that's what you work with. And so what you do, wait for him, be very quiet is very good. But you have to challenge him, you have to push him. Otherwise, if you let him be whoever he wants, he will do nothing. You have to push him. But push him intelligently. Push him to explore a better way of using his body, a more efficient way. Because if he sees the advantage of it, if he feels comfort, his strong will go positive. If he feels that he can be comfortable, what he protects, he anticipates pain, he anticipates discomfort. If he explores the two, then he can be comfortable. That's going to, the same intensity, his natural intensity is going to become a positive asset for you. Yeah, so you start low-key like that, okay? And then when you feel the right hand, you feel all the problem, okay? It comes from, he does not use the top line the way he should. He should function more elastic. Therefore, the band is your best tool. But that's what he protects. Therefore, you have a psychological problem. How you can bring him to explore bending. Because he tends to put the weight on the neck, okay? Half pass, every bend in a direction of the movement. Half pass, circle bend outside, shoulder forward, pirouette. Can be helpful. They all have their nuance, but they all can be helpful. So you play with the one you feel you should do at this moment. And it changes all the time. He's going to react to every stimulus, protecting his body, and you encourage him to explore something different. So instead of doing it from the neck going up and down, you need to do it with proper supple mechanic of the back. That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, that was a good choice. Yes. He will protect. He will refuse. He will protect. But he's smart. He will consider. He will explore. The intensity in protection can be used to make him exploring a better way of using their body. And they are smart, they can do that. But we have to challenge them. Yeah, then circle bend outside. And on the half pass, he did not bend. Yeah. And then when the base of the neck will go up, then you can consider half pass keeping the same bend, half pass changing the bend. That's another way. Half pass keeping the same bend will be easier. Not as efficient for the lift of the trunk. Half pass changing the bend will be more efficient for the lift of the trunk, a little bit more difficult for the horse. So according to the horse you have at this moment, you chose the move. You constantly go from one move to the other. You use the exercise to guide his brain. Yeah. Yeah. Then maybe shoulder in. Yes. Yes. Then next move, and so on. That's good. That's good. Well, then you put weight on the neck. Choose your next move. Now, you talk together. He tell you, boy, I think to do that, I think to do that, and you tell him, try that, try that. It's a positive conversation. You don't tell him, don't do that, you tell him, try that. Yeah, and then you give him the time to explore. Yeah, keep going. He's going. You give him the time. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Yes. Well, then, when he responds, you immediately say, okay, what's good, what's not good. And then what, in relation to what is not good, next move. Yes. Yes, that's good. Yes. Because of the 4-beat, keep the counter short. Benefits from the momentum, but the 4-beat will be a contraction. You will contract muscle called iliocostalis. You don't need that. Therefore, keep it short, or you can also try to see if you will do the counter on a circle or on a large pirouette. The band will avoid the lateral contraction. The iliocostalis are muscles situated more on the side. And when they contract, they create a lateralization of the movement. Yeah. Good. Good job. Yeah, don't let him trap himself there. Yeah. Yes. See what he does there. That the iliocostalis, the lateralization. The band, you know why he does it, okay? But it's that's what they do at the counter. That's what creates the 4-beat. So the band is a way out. Yes. Yeah. You need the band. Now. Yes. Yeah, that's a good move. Yes. Yes. That's the solution. Yes. Yeah. Good. Yes. Yes.
Should I counter? Or not?
Just there, yes. Just there, yes. If he give you that, counter will be the response. You could do pirouette left or left lead counter. That would be the response. Not yet, but when it will be okay. Yeah. No, go back outside. You need more lift. To make the counter useful, you need more lift. It was okay a few minutes ago, but not there. Yeah. You might have to bend more. Say when you feel the movement go through, he put tension in the neck, weight on the bit. You might, if you decide to counter, you might bend more. You must start a small circle just to see if you could bend, and then the counter. The counter will not have to be on a small circle, but when you are ready to ask it, he protects himself, freezing the top line. Therefore, maybe 2 or 3 strads on a good bend might help you to get the movement for the departure. Right now, I will go back on a circle bend outside because he really tried to put weight on the neck. He really tried to go back to the weight on the neck. Therefore, re-stimulate the lift of the trunk between the forelegs, probably the right way to go. And then, once he does it, you can consider the counter. Yeah, if he does that with more movement, yeah, okay. Yeah, no. Go from one to the other. Go from Samcol right band left to Sarcol left band right. Because he really insists in keeping the weight on the neck. So by changing, you might be able to lift the base of the neck more. And when he's ready to lift, he keeps the weight, so that's why he keeps the legs rigid and he keeps the weight on the neck. So then change, go the other direction. Same movement, but the other way. You might put him out of that. You probably will have to change a few times because before you have the window open for the counter. So the way he reacts there, he found it's a smart escape. That's not what you want. Yeah. So change. Yes. Yeah, it might work. You start to think differently. Maybe a few more times. Yeah. Yes. 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 Yeah. Yes. Yes. You have no reason to worry, but he come closer.
I think he's exhausted.
It's probably the way to go, like play like that, constantly. His brain go in a lot of different over the place, and then keeping thinking on the right subject with the right response. So therefore, when you go toward an error, fix it. Say, right now is more half pass, circle bend outside, large pirouette, small that. Shoulder in only once, small that. And guide his brain. When you have the base of the trot, for example, not too bad, but he could not do more. You are there and you are there. And if you push more, he just contract. Therefore, going beyond that will be create the band. Will make him use the thoracic. But as soon as he start to use it, he go on his neck. So you play with different movements. When you go on his neck, focus on the extrinsic muscles. Then the thoracic, you do it very well. I think it's the way you're going to make him explore. He can be elastic, he can be supple with more movement. He think talk, and he need to think.
And when he gets more supple, is that going to, would the back lameness go away?
That is where the shoulder in will be useful. The shoulder in right in particular for the rotation and the adduction of the hand leg are going to be useful. But until he bend the thoracic, you are not going to do anything. So some moment you feel he's not that good with the right hand leg. You have to have the bend of the thoracic. Otherwise, you will never get that. So as soon as you start to explore a bigger movement, then, so don't go bigger, go more collect, because once the door is open, you can go one way. So I will go more collect, more balance, adduction, engagement on the right hand leg, greater tilt of the pelvic. But it will not happen if you don't have first the mobility of the thoracic vertebra. He's a tough guy.
Oh boy, oh that's terrible boys. Okay, thank you.
Good job. It's your right leg, the right one. See, there is on the edge of coordinating the back.